Welcome to EPG Pathshala. My name is Dr. Neeraj Agarwal and I am Assistant Professor in University Institute of Hotel and Tourism Management, Punjab University, Chandigarh. I am presenting lecture on module titled Menu and Menu Planning under the paper titled Food and Beverage Service Operations and Management. After completing this module, the learners would be able to understand the concept and development of menu, explain different types of menu, define the factors affecting for menu planning, perform the development of various kinds of menu, analyze the systematic approach for menu planning. Firstly, to start with, introduction. The menu is a price list of food and beverage items offered in food and beverage outlets. This is a kind of sales tool and one of the most significant components in the operations of catering organization. It provides the information to the guest about the availability of items or products to drink and eat. Almost all the food and beverage service organizations work hard on this important tool to develop their own image and brand in the market, so it may also be called as a focal point of food and beverage service operations. Menu is designed very cautiously as it represents the organization's icon to the guest to be catered. It needs a lot of work keeping in mind about the type of clientele, customer or consumer. A well-planned menu results in consumer satisfaction as well as it helps to encourage the catering personnel for better quality in services. Now, we are going to discuss about the origin of menu. Formerly, the French term menu was termed in English as bill of fare, and it was too large to be presented to guests on the table. There is a belief that Duke Henry of Brunswick in the year 1541 AD, when hosting a feast, had been seen with the long piece of paper referring to the guest, as it was a sequence of dishes to be served according to the nature of food. That is, it must retain the appetite throughout the meal for the upcoming dishes. It is presumed the origin of menu or a kind of primitive menu. This bill of fare was generally placed at the single point on the table so that everyone could read. Slowly and gradually, menu has been a lot of changes. It becomes smaller in shape and increased in quantity in a multiple number of copies for each table, and thus it has developed to the modern form, which carries a lot of flexible features as per the need and demand of the organization. Earlier, the banquets were divided into only 2 courses and each one was composed for varieties of dishes with a wide range of 10 to 40 dishes. When the guest or dinner entering for meal, the first course was already placed on the table or on the buffet, so they were called the entree. The second or the last course was again composed of 10 to 40 varieties of dishes, as they used to remove or relieve the first course, so they were called as reliefs. Now, we are going to discuss the objectives of menu. The menu is a sales tool and it fulfills multiple jobs in catering operations as follows. From the guest or customer's point of view, menu acts as information tool as it provides all basic information regarding the availability of dishes with their price. It also provides the information for other rules and regulations regarding the policies of the restaurant. It acts as connecting link between the customer and the establishment. Menu helps in accurate billing as each individual item is provided with its price. It is written document so the guest or customer can read it well, so it resolves the accent problem between the waiter and guest, thus it may act to remove confusion. It provides the information regarding the waiting time for individual item required during service delivery. Now, we discuss from the server and organization point of view. The menu helps the server to plan the correct layout for cutlery, crockery, glassware, and other items required for the cover. It acts as a factor in the development in cost control procedures. It helps to identify the service skills required within a server. Menu gives the information about sequential form of individual items so be served by the waiter. It provides the information regarding individual items, delivery time, presentation during service delivery. It provides the information for the required ingredients with standard purchase specification to be purchased by the organization. Now, I will discuss about the different types of menu. Basically, the menu is divided into two categories, a la carte and table d'hôte. A la carte menu, it may be translated from the card or according to the card. It has a wide range of a multiple choice on menu and each item is listed down in a sequence and priced individually. The guest has a choice from wide varieties of different dishes to opt for meal. The a la carte menu has the following characteristics. It is a complete list of dishes to be served by the food and beverage outlet. The food and beverage items are listed as their own category. The choice is generally more extensive. The dishes are priced individually. Each dish has a waiting time allowed for preparation and serving. A sample format of a la carte menu may be seen in various outlets as starters, soups, main course, which includes fish, shellfish preparations, poultry, meat and game preparations, chef specials, desserts or sweets. In an a la carte menu, the waiting time for dishes are approximate. For hors d'oeuvres, it took 5 to 10 minutes, soup 5 to 6 minutes. For egg preparation, 8 to 10 minutes, omelette, plain or cheese 10 to 12 minutes, fried fish required 10 to 12 minutes, salmons, grilled ones, it requires 15 to 20 minutes, lobster with Mornay sauce 8 to 10 minutes, liver 15 to 18 minutes, lamb cutlets 10 to 15 minutes, filet steaks as per order, chateaubriand 15 to 18 minutes, roast chicken 20 to 25 minutes. Now, I discuss the table d'hôte menu. The common meaning of table d'hôte is a table of the host. It is a menu of limited choice which is a combination for few dishes and planned in advance for specific occasions. In table d'hôte menu, the complete meal has a fixed price or it may be said that each dish is not individually priced. If the full menu is not consumed, a set price may be charged as per the policy of the outlet. Some of the food and beverage outlets offer fixed menu for breakfast, lunch or dinner, generally used in group, walk-ins or banquet function served as buffet menu. This menu often used in festivals or in special occasions like Valentine's Day, Christmas or New Year. The selling price of the menu is fixed. The dishes are ready at the time when the meal time is announced. A simple structure of table d'hôte menu may be found in various outlets as starters, seasonal fresh vegetables, salad with orange dressing or puree of green peas and leek soup. Main course consists of grilled fillets of red snappers with palki sauce or crown of baby pork with apple sauce. Desserts, it includes lemon souffle or vanilla ice cream with chocolate sauce. Tea or coffee be served in the end. Along with these two classes of menu, carte de jour menu can also be included. This is a menu which indicates as today's special, which is usually inserted into tabal dahat or a la carte menu. Other forms of menu may be found as function menu or special party menu. Menu for banquets or functions of all kinds may have special in nature based on theme or purpose. Lavish food for different courses in the menu would be a part of the host choice. Static menu. The typical varieties of dishes are offered round the year with minute changes on occasions or on special days. Specialty or ethnic menu. These may be fixed price menus or menus with individually priced dishes showing the specialties of the cuisine from a particular country or region or in specialized food itself. For example, specialty food includes steaks, pastas, fish, vegetarian, etc. Ethnic menu Chinese, kosher, Indian, Greek, Mediterranean, etc. Another menu is hospital menu. These usually served in the hospitals and could be in the form of a menu card given to the residential patient the day before service so that the preferential food could be ticked out for the arrangement. The aspects will be strongly followed as the religious, vegetarian, nutritional, etc. The another form of menu is dessert menu. This menu displays a varieties of cakes, tarts, puddings, smoothies, ice creams, sundaes, fondues, sweet pies and frozen yogurts. Individual item will have their respective prices. Another kind of menu is beverage menu. This menu shows varieties of juices, shakes, tea, coffee, hot chocolate, mocktails, and as per the guest demand, the types of water, beer, liquors, wines, cocktails, and spirits will be listed in the wine menu and with their respective serving quantities and prices. Canteen menu. These vary in standards and extend from one employer to another, considering the organizational policies and on the welfare of staff members. The foods are available on the subsidized rates and the objective is to cover the incurring cost only. For a different meal, a separate list of food items are presented. Example may be referred with breakfast, tea, lunch and dinner. The menu may be combination of a la carte as well as tabal dahat or it may be as simple as selection of 3 to 4 items. Menu for children. Nutrition and choice are the major concern for the children. Demand of the particular food on the occasion may be high by the children. In the boarding schools, this kind of issue is on the prime matter to think and implement. Healthy diet and balanced meal is a major emphasis, particularly in boarding schools. Cultural and religious factors for children of various backgrounds must be considered and therefore appropriate items could be available in the menu. Another form of menu is cyclic menu. These are menus that are planned for a given period of time, 1 week, fortnight or a month. They consist of a number of set and pre-planned menus for a particular food and beverage outlet, such as an industrial canteen, restaurant, canteens, cafeterias, executive dining rooms, college or hospitals. The menu starts with the same pattern when it ends at a point. The period or length of the cycle is decided by the management of establishment as per the organizational policy. The cyclic menu is very helpful to determine the food cost as they have the fixed ratio for each cycle. The another type of menu we are going to discuss is breakfast menu. Breakfast menus are compiled from the foods usually served in the morning. It can be offered as continental, American, English, Indian, tabal dahat, a la carte or buffet. From buffet services, customer or can serve themselves for the main item and if they require other items, assistance may be provided from counter's hand. Another menu is brunch menu. This menu consists of a mid to late morning meals. A combination of breakfast and lunch items is the part of brunch. These are commonly served on weekends or on holidays. In the hostels or few typical food service outlets, brunch may be served in lieu of both breakfast and lunch on weekends and for special occasions. Banquet menus. Banquet almost serve a set menu of 3 or more courses, often to large gathering of people. When compiling banquet menus, the food for a large number of people in quantity and in variety are considered as prime aspect. The price of menu should cover the overall expense for the banquet arrangement. Tea menu. Depending on the type of function, the tea and snacks items are kept under tea menu. The items may be assorted sandwiches, bread and butter, assorted jams, scones, etc. Varieties of tea in special kind of arrangement shows the wealthiness of the menu planner. It may be an arrangement of teas as well as coffee and other drinks, could be cold as well as hot. Fast food menu. The fast food outlets serve the items which could be assembled in a very quick instant. Even though many of the people are scared of the items served in this type of menu as they are called as junk food. However, their popularity and success is shown by the successful beginning of McDonald's, which was opened in Chicago in just 1955, and now there are thousands of outlets worldwide McDonald's is offering. Customers a nutritional chart to products served there as well as information for other major illness as diabetics. Tablets and e-menus. The menu in the form of digital gadgets are available nowadays in many of the high-profile outlets. Tablet PCs are more functional than handheld devices due to their larger output screens, but they are still too heavy and bulky for extensive use apart from back of house in warehouses and receiving docks. However, the modern restaurants are installing the applications out in the form of e-menus, especially for wine list or beverage list, where the device or unit can be given to the guest for reading through before ordering. The additional amount of information such as nutritional data, calories in the food is available to the guest. Some of the information like wine tasting, notes and possible food and wine paintings and new features could be seen on the e-menus. Now, we discuss about the components of menu. While compiling the menu, following components should be taken as a basis. The first, supplying to menu. Vegetables and non-vegetarian items should be supplied on the seasonal basis. Second, balance of menu. Menu must be balanced as light to heavy and then heavy to light. It may vary the sequences of preparation of each course. Changes in the seasonings, flavoring and presentation should be taken care. The garnishes should be in harmony with the main dishes or other preparations. Third, food value of menu. Used commodities or ingredients and cooking methods must preserve the nutritive properties of the raw material naturally. Fourth, color and presentation. Colors must be chosen carefully to present them in a visually and appealing manner, as well as clusters should be avoided. A focus should be on clarity and easy reading. Fifth, languages. The languages in menu should be written in one language, that is either all in English, French or in any other regional language, and be effortlessly understood by the customer. Now, I discuss about the menu planning. Menu planning is a process which involves assembling of the food and beverages items and prospective brand images to be served in the food and beverage outlet. It involves the application of the knowledge of food and beverage, their nutritional values, food habits of diners, their likes and dislikes to cater them healthy and attractive meals. Various aspects are kept under consideration while planning the menu, such as menu planning in a restaurant or a banquet, a large variety of food items attractively presented. The factors that must be considered when planning menus includes the following: Type of food and beverage outlet. Each outlet will have its own policy and accordingly they plan the menu to be served. Type of clientele. The profile of clientele is important to be considered while planning the menu. Location of the outlet. Distance from the city center or from the market and the supplier is an important factor while developing the menu. It is again very significant for the caterer who are involved in outdoor catering operations. Price of the items. The price of the banquet menu depends on the size of menu. The manager must consider about the purchasing capacity of the guest and targeted market segment. Food habits of the customers. Menu should feature local delicacies and popular dishes to suit the guest eating habits and preferences. Meal period. The spread or the length of the menu should match the time available to have the meal. Usually, lunch buffet menus are shorter than the dinner menus. Availability of the ingredients. Like any other menu planning, seasonal availability of ingredients should be considered. Menu balance. Menus should be balanced in all aspects such as color, flavor, texture and taste. Quality retention, especially during long meals periods, once the food is displayed on the buffet counter, it loses its quality as the time passes. Usually, color-coded stickers are used to replace the dishes after a certain period and to maintain the quality. Availability of production equipments. One must consider the kitchen equipment for its suitability to provide the menus compiled. Skills of the staff. The menu compiled should not have any dishes that cannot be produced or supplied by the regular staff. Now, we discuss about the aim of menu planning. Menu planning is the most vital phase in planning an organization in the food and beverage industry. It is an advanced plan of a dietary pattern over a given period of time. A menu must meet the nutritional requirement of the individuals. Meals must be made available within the food cost. The menu should make purchase, preparation and storage of meals very simple. It must provide appetizing and attractive meals without any monotony. Menus must save time and money for the host and guest or the buyer and seller. It should minimize overhead expenses in terms of fuel, electricity, water and labor. Now, systematic approach for menu planning. First, market study should be conducted. Second, competitive analysis should be done without any biasness. Third, feedback system must be analyzed. Fourth, food shows and trials should be done regularly. Fifth, a particular theme could be taken as a base to work out. Sixth, current market trends must be observed. Seventh, nutritional content of the food should be analyzed properly. Eighth, ensure variety and balance of menu items. Ninth, menu should be priced accurately. 10th, availability of the ingredients for food products should be checked on. 11th, skill level of kitchen personnel should be matched with menu. 12th, appropriate production stations should be installed to prepare. 13th, labor cost must be controlled. 14th, menu merchandising should be worked out to increase sales of appetizers and desserts. 15th, development of standardized recipes should be done. 16th, garnish, plating and portion standards should be established. Now, I will summarize the whole module. In this chapter, we define the concept and development of menu. Almost all the food and beverage service organizations work hard on this important tool to develop their own image and brand in the market. So it may also be called as a focal point of food and beverage service operation. Menu is designed very cautiously as it represents the organization's icon to the guest to be catered. It needs a lot of work keeping in mind about the type of clientele, customer or consumer. A well-planned menu results in the consumer satisfaction as well as it helps to encourage the catering personnel for better quality in services. We also explained how the menu is planned for different purposes. An understanding of this chapter will help to practice in the menu planning in food service outlets. Thanking you and have a nice day.